right. Just waiting on Metal Gladiator now,
Yeah.
so we can start this.
How long is he gonna take?
I don't know. I was expecting him here like 30 minutes ago. We've been trying to plan this for like months.
I don't know. He's just taking his sweet time. I don't understand.
I don't know where he is.
What's he doing?
I don't know. He hasn't texted me, so
Hmm.
I don't know where he is.
Do you think he's taking a shower or something?
What are you doing? What's going on? Are you playing a game?
We're waiting for you for Silver Screen Symposium.
What are you doing in
You
Williamsburg?
doing that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying to make a comeback.
Oh.
Hurry
Do
up.
I need to go in the other room?
Yeah, you
there?
can't film in here. Get it your own computer.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't. You know what? Never mind.
Dude,
I'm
hurry
sorry.
up. Hurry up.
Nathaniel
Wow.
says hurry up.
Okay, I'm hurrying. Jeez.
It's always something with him. It's always something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now let's see how long it takes him to get to his computer.
Say like, how long is it gonna take him to get to his computer?
Okay, hold on.
We're holding on.
We're holding on. We don't have enough
Hell,
longer to hold on.
We're waiting.
Hold on. Wait.
We've been waiting.
That's what we're doing.
Wait.
Oh, look who finally decided to show up.
Wow.
Hey, I'm sorry. I kind of forgot about this. I kind of forgot about this.
You
podcast,
forgot.
honestly.
Wow. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
But we're making a comeback, okay? We're making a comeback.
Gonna come back.
It's been like 2 years.
Let's do it.
Has it been that long? 2 years?
Our last upload was 2 years.
Wow.
The last upload wasn't even an actual official episode. It was like a mini discussion thing with like Star Wars stuff.
Oh, the
that was
Kenobi
back
stuff.
when the Acolyte was coming out.
Oh my
jeez.
god. That piece of crap.
Yeah, we didn't even watch.
Still never
that.
even watched it. Yeah.
I have not seen anything Star Wars new for a while. But
I haven't watched a single piece of Star Wars since that came out because that's how much it made me mad.
I didn't even watch that. So
I didn't either. I didn't need to.
So this is the comeback. What movie are we doing?
Well, should we do like our normal like intro first?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we used to like introduce the show as we came in, not just
Right, yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all this, guys. I just completely forgot about this and everything. I'm sorry. I kind of everything. I'm sorry. I am.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do the intro. Okay, the actual,
Okay.
the official one.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready now.
You ready? Got stuff popping up on Discord here. Hold on. Okay. All right. Here we go. You ready now? What's up, movie freaks? Welcome back to Silver Screen Symposium. It has been a hot minute. What did we say about 2 years? We are back today. We're going to be talking about the Odyssey, which is still in cinemas right now, directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Matt Damon and a whole bunch of other people. I am Vilcams, and here with me we have the Metal Gladiator up in that corner. And over here in this corner we have Film and Thespian. Anything you guys want to say for yourselves?
It's been too long, and glad to be back.
Yes, very glad to be back. I'm excited.
Sorry, we don't have an excuse for the hiatus. We just kind of
Yeah.
have
Life and busyness and
life started
Yeah.
getting busy, as it does.
Yep.
Fun. Well, we're back. This is the start of something big. Ish.
Yes, yes. You. We're gonna be the biggest podcast on all the podcast platforms. You wait.
We're doing it. We're right.
Oh,
Okay. What movie are we talking about?
the Odyssey.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I guess one thing, especially because we've done a couple new movies when they were coming out, like the Batman and the Northman. I believe kind of the thing that we started on with those movies are like, what was your first thoughts, like trailer wise and stuff? What was your expectations and all that stuff?
Gotcha. Who
Um,
wants to start?
I guess I'll start. I was about to say something.
Go for it. Go for it. Sorry.
Well, for me, I mean, expectations going into it. Christopher Nolan always does like, well, maybe not always, but more recently has been doing like big, epic, large scale things. So I was expecting it to be like that, and I was expecting some really great visual effects because Christopher Nolan's known for really great effects and trying to do as much as he can practically and only using CGI when he needs to. So, and he's really good at blending the two. So I was expecting that, and yeah. And then I think my biggest worry was, I guess like it just happened so quickly after he announced that he was doing it like as soon as Oppenheimer came out in theaters. So I was a little worried he was rushing it a little bit, that it wasn't going to be like super like a super tight script and like everything was gonna be perfect. Sorry, someone's trying to call me. And that I just was worried that it wasn't gonna be like super what's the word, like just tight, like nice and worked out, and all the kinks worked out, and that it was gonna be like not very good. Well, not very good. He's a really good director, but just kind of like
Rushed.
Rushed, a little rough around the edges type thing, and and then also like I was seeing some of the cast, and I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna like. Not that they're all bad actors, I just didn't know how they fit into the Odyssey, really, in my personal opinion. But I really love Christopher Nolan as a director, and so I was like, I'm just gonna like, and like the Odyssey just seems like his wheelhouse. So I was like, I'm just gonna trust him and like wait and see before I come up with any conclusions on my own. And like the rest of the internet was doing, the internet had all sorts of like theories and things about that he announced, and it's like, you haven't even seen the movie yet. Why are you making judgments now? And so I was like, well, let me wait till the movie comes out, and then I'll decide how I feel about it. Yeah, it was before going into it where my mind and thought and expectations were.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I've probably seen the least amount of Christopher Nolan films as of right now. Seen Inception and the Dark Knight trilogy. So judging off of that, I didn't really feel like he was the best director to adapt the Odyssey, because it is such a epic. It's a classic. Like, this story has been around for thousands of years, and like, I've never read it yet, but I've seen other adaptations and stuff, and I know of the story. It's a very well known story, and just knowing the little bit of stuff that I knew about Christopher Nolan, I didn't feel like he was the right director for it. just going into it. So my expectations were pretty much like 50-50. I was really just like, I'm not expecting a masterpiece, and I'm not expecting a disaster, so I'm just kind of neutral, just going in expecting a good to decent movie, you know. So that's what my expectations were.
Mine, going off of the trailer and whatnot, was just, I guess, kind of middle of the road. Also, I wasn't like, I wasn't going to be hopeful that it was going to be some masterpiece, but also it didn't look like a complete disaster either. Um, some of the, I guess, talk around the internet and the casting choices was a little bit questionable for me at times. Some of them, anyway, and then some of the dialogue in the trailer seemed a little, and sometimes they edit things weird in the trailer.
Yeah.
But some of it I was kind of like, what? But so yeah, I was kind of middle of the road as far as expectations going in, just based off of the trailer and internet whatnot before. But I wasn't like really following. I wasn't like hearing every little thing about it. It was just like I've heard a couple things. I saw the trailer. Hopefully it's good,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's normally pretty good, but not always. I mean, he's normally always pretty good, but he's not always like, fantastic. Sometimes he's fantastic, and sometimes he's kind of mid.
Yeah. I feel like I don't think he's ever made like a bad movie.
No.
The only movie I haven't seen is Following, and that's his first movie. So if that one's bad, like it's his first movie.
Yeah.
But
I guess the couple that I think of are like The Dark Knight Rises. I don't think it's very good at all.
It was okay.
And Dunkirk was just kind of okay.
Yeah. Tenet, I think, was also pretty okay.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't had a real strong desire to go back and watch it. Mainly, my biggest desire to go back and see it is the fact that it's been a minute since I've seen it, and I feel like there are some things I missed the first time around that I'm like, maybe I should go back and rewatch it. But it's more that than like, oh man, that movie was so good, I gotta go see it again.
Yeah.
It's more just it's been a minute, so I kind of want to rewatch it.
Gotcha.
Type thing. And I do remember there were some pretty cool sequences in that movie and I mean, he has those in all of his movies. Like even in Dark Knight Rises and Dunkirk, there's some like really great sequences in those movies, even though if those movies aren't really good all as a whole, the sequence there are some really great sequences in those movies.
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, one thing I want to talk about before we go super into it, because this was one thing that I was actually hearing about before seeing the movie. I was a little kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. But the camera he used was the 70 millimeter, and I guess the frame was extended on IMAX. So, and I was seeing like pictures of like the side by side of like just normal theater and then the IMAX theater, and I was just like, I'm a little worried about that because I'm just like, it was kind of like because I was seeing a lot of like stuff on social media, people being like, oh, you have to see it in IMAX. But it's like if someone doesn't see it in IMAX and they didn't like it, is that person going to be slandered for being like, oh, I didn't see it in IMAX? Oh, well, you didn't actually see the movie then. It's kind of like I was getting that impression with it, and I'm just like, okay, that's just sounds scam. That just sounds like a scam, first off. So that's something that really worried me That's probably the thing that really worried me the most. Was I'm just like, what the heck's going on here? Like, I shouldn't have to see a movie in IMAX to get the experience of it, you know?
Yeah, when they announced that he was doing the entire movie in IMAX, filming the whole movie on an IMAX camera and everything, one of the biggest things about Christopher Nolan is that he's associated with like the film bros and the film snobs, the people who like gatekeep and say that Nolan's the best movie director ever and nobody can top him, and they actually don't know anything about movies and they just watched Christopher Nolan movies basically, and like they just praise him and worship him as like one of the best directors ever when they don't really have a full knowledge of movies. And when I heard that he was going to film the whole movie in IMAX, I was like, man, that's just going to make those types of people even more malicious. And it's not helping Christopher Nolan out at all, because like it's just like one of those things where it's like, man, that's really cool, but what about when it gets released on DVD or Blu-ray, or when we all want to watch it at home? Now what? And then it's just like, and then for me, I went and saw it in a Dolby theater, or a theater room, which that was still really cool. I don't feel like losing the like little bit of the letterbox. To me, it's not. Doesn't bother me at all. I don't care. I don't feel like I'm missing like huge chunks of the movie. And to me, it kind of feels like he did it because he can, more so than any sort of like legitimate reason for it. Personally, I know that he loves IMAX, and like I saw an interview where he said that he loves IMAX. If he ever got the first time he saw an IMAX theater, he knew he wanted to do an entire movie in IMAX if he could. So, and you know, that's just the type of person he is. That's the type of stuff that he likes, and like that's great. But when we want to watch it on our home TVs, like, how much is that going to affect the movie? You know?
Yeah, it didn't affect it too much, like hardly at all. But like that was just one of my worries. Was like, oh great, I'm just gonna see it in a normal theater, and then everybody's gonna be like, oh, you didn't actually see the movie then. It was just that whole vibe with it. But yeah, it really didn't affect it that much, hardly at all.
No, it still worked perfectly fine in just a standard cinema. So
yeah,
yes, it did. So now I guess we got to start talking about the film.
Yeah.
So let's start at the beginning. No. I guess one thing I want to point out is the decision to kind of tell the story a little bit out of order, in a way, kind of worked for me. Like I at first I was kind of like, I don't know if this is working so well, but then it was like kind of like, okay, no, this does work. Yeah, I do like that, the way he did that and stuff, because it almost seemed like Odysseus was on the island with that girl. I'm terrible with names. Calypso. Eating the flowers and stuff, and seems like he was there at the beginning of the movie when they opened at with the banquet or whatever. All the I'm terrible with wars. Holy crap!
The son and the wife and the
back at Ithaca.
Ithaca, yeah. Holy crap, guys! I'm stupid. Yeah, it was like it. Like after you see the whole film, it was like, okay, yeah, all this, the actual like Odyssey's famous iconic stuff like the Cyclops and all that stuff already happened at the beginning of the movie, but it was kind of like out of order. I like that. It's not something that like every director can pull off. And honestly, I didn't think it was going to work for this story, but it kind of did. And I was like, okay, I like that. That's fine.
Yeah, when I realized that it was going to be told out of order, I was like, I didn't know how I felt about it because Nolan has had several movies that are told out of order, and they've all worked, but also just like at this point in time in 2026, I feel like that kind of way of storytelling has been done so many times to a point where it's like almost cliche now, and so it kind of like is almost like, dude, not every movie needs to be told that way. I don't know. But as the movie went on, I kind of felt like it was actually the best way to tell it for that movie specifically. Maybe not in general, just for like the way he wanted his movie. I felt like it was the best way to tell it.
Yeah, I think he structured it really well, and it worked.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, that's like the first thing I wanted to say that I was kind of like impressed by. But so I haven't read the Odyssey. So there are plenty of people. I have it. I actually have it right here. I need to put it up, actually. There we go. There you go. The Odyssey, guys. Yeah, I want to read it because, like, I've been getting really into reading, sort of recently. I say sort of because I'm like not well disciplined in actually doing it because I've just got other stuff going on a lot. But I read when I can. But it's a story that I know well enough, like I understand it to a point, I remember me and William, we watched an old cartoon of it, like an adaptation of it. So that's like the best thing in my memory when it comes to the Odyssey. And that being a cartoon, it was, pretty bright and colorful in a lot of ways. So the thing that kind of, this may just be, the reason I bring that up is because I have some problems with the overall like color grading for Christopher Nolan's adaptation. I felt like some aspects or some scenes didn't need to be like so dark. I don't know, like one of the first times that it actually looked like the Odyssey to me, and again, I watched it as a cartoon, so this just could just be bias. Like, was the whirlpool scene where it's like the ocean is just so obviously blue and stuff, and I was just like, the rest of the movie didn't really seem like that a lot. Like, I kind of felt like the ocean just didn't look as majestic as it needed to be in this epic adventure, I don't know. I was kind of a little. That's really one of my first complaints that I was really noticing right at the start. Was I was just like, I don't know how I feel about the overall look of this film right now. But like, there are definitely scenes that looked really good, and like, I mean, in terms of like on the boat, like my favorite scenes was the world pool scene and the siren scene. Those two scenes, I thought they captured the voyage, the overall like experience of the voyage very well, in terms of just the overall look of like the look and the color grading of the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like my first complaint about this movie was just kind of like some of the color grading. I'm not an expert on color grading. I've only done a little bit, but like it's something that I'm kind of like seeing more of now that I've kind of done it a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I definitely want to point out, sorry for interrupting. I saw a little snippet of like behind the scenes, and I think it was one of the shots where it was like can't remember what part of the movie, but it was like it was a wide shot of like the ocean and stuff on the boat, and then you see the behind the scenes, and I'm just like, the ocean looks better on the behind the scenes footage than it does in the movie. And I was that was another thing that I was kind of like, that made me a little hesitant about like the camera that he was using and stuff, and I'm just like, and then just like overall visualization, can't talk, color grading and all that stuff, and I was, yeah, and I saw that before I saw the actual movie. That was that little snippet of behind the scenes. It was probably like some Instagram reel or something, and I was just like, the ocean looks great in the behind the scenes, and it just kind of looks muddy in the movie there. Yeah, I don't know. That's my take on that. What do you guys think? Am I full of it?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay.
I just, it didn't bother me at all. I thought it looked gorgeous. I didn't think. I mean, yeah, was it a little darker than some other things? Yeah, but I think that's kind of what he was going for, and and I just feel like that's kind of his style. He likes to color grade it a little darker. If you look at his other movies, he tends to do that a lot. So it didn't really bother me. I thought it looked good. Thought it looked really good, beautiful. I never really had an issue with it being too dark. Really, actually, like the scenes where they were like inside and they were like all being lit by like fire, the fire inside just made me think of the Northman, when Robert Eggers was using only fire as like his lighting, and it wasn't using any extra lighting. And I was kind of like curious if they did the same thing for the Odyssey, which I kind of doubt, but I was curious about it.
I will say, in terms of like the darkness, it fit very well for the climax there.
Yeah.
That a lot of the scenes inside, the darkness fit very well, but I just kind of feel like it. Sometimes, like, yeah, there was some storms and stuff going on, but like there were other times that I was just kind of like, and I feel like this needed to be a little brighter. I don't know.
I get what you're saying about the ocean and stuff. I do think the indoor shots, though, they worked really well. Looked very realistic with the lighting.
Yeah.
I do think overall, though, it was pretty well shot, pretty beautiful looking.
Yeah.
But I do understand what you're saying about some of the ocean shots and stuff, about it being a little muted.
Yeah, I definitely think the cinematography was really well done. For sure.
Especially when you see the rig that they had for the camera and how big it was. It's like, how do you get any interesting shots of that?
Yeah.
But they made it work.
Yeah. Indeed.
But yeah, I think what I was going to say about the indoor lighting is I feel like they did a really good job of making it look realistic without like sacrificing good visuals for realism. I feel like a lot of movies do nowadays. They're like, well, lighting like that in real life doesn't look like that, so let's not do that. And then the movie ends up looking horrible and terrible.
Yeah.
You know, and like you can't see anything, or it just looks bland, and it's like, okay, well, what happened to creativity when it comes to lighting? So I feel like the indoor shots looked realistic without sacrificing the like how good the shot looks.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, well, what do we want to talk about next? Or we want to go plot,
Where do we want to go?
performance?
I would really like to go to Alaska.
You have fun over there. I'm good. I'm not good.
Okay. Okay. Quit fooling around, guys. Nathaniel, calm down.
Sorry,
William,
I apologize.
quiet down. Okay. Well, let's
Shut up.
since we were
Thank
talking
you.
about like the visuals and stuff, let's continue on that route a little bit with like some of the effects, because there's one thing that I really want to point out. Just to make sure I'm not crazy, because I really don't think I am. But in that scene with the giants, the trees were moving, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thought so. I really liked some of those shots. Really liked how they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the trees were moving and like trapping
yes,
people.
Yes, they were moving. Yeah. Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah, they were moving.
Yeah. Yeah, wish the giant stuff, they did that very well. They got like 7 feet tall stuntmen, and they had like 5 foot stunt actors.
Yeah, stunt women.
It was really well done, but the trees moving and stuff really added to that scene for me, because you got the giants. They look good. I don't know. I'll get into something about that because it has something to do with like costumes, but I'll get into that later. But like the trees just moving around and stuff like that just added such a mysterious element to the scene. That's just like, oh crap, what's going on?
Yeah.
How are they getting out of this? They can't. For a second, it was like, oh, they can't actually just run away now. Like the trees are trapping them. Dudes are dying, and now it's like, how do you get away? And then they just kind of just got away anyway. But so, but yeah, I really like that scene. That was a
like
really
too how the giants
scene.
started tearing the boats apart. But I also didn't understand why Odysseus was saying to wait at that point. I didn't understand what he was trying to accomplish with that. Because like there was like his one like main guy that hadn't gotten in the boat yet, but like
I think that's what he was saying. Wait for us to try and get. You could get in the boat.
But like, obviously waiting is not going to. Like
yeah. But I feel like it kind of went with Odysseus's character, because like in the Cyclops scene, when the Cyclops like spat out the like helmet and he turned around and shot the Cyclops because he was like, screw you, because he'd like killed like a bunch of his men, and like in the rest throughout the movie, like he really cares about his men and who he's with and everything. So like it kind of goes along with it. Like he's okay with risking some trouble to save his men. But also at that point in time, it's like, dude, everyone might die if you wait.
Right. Like, yeah, you cannot, like, obviously 2 out of the 3 of those ships went down at the same time as he's yelling to wait. So I was a little confused as to like what he was, because the guy was right there too. I was like, waiting isn't going to do anything. You need to just kill that giant and get him up there, like, and as you're moving.
Yeah, which is what they ended up doing. But
yeah, but I was just confused why he just kept yelling to wait. I don't know.
Yeah,
it seemed odd. But some of the dialogue is a little odd in this movie, and I mentioned that from the trailer. And then some of that was a little odd in the movie.
I will agree that there was some times where the dialogue was like that didn't feel real. That didn't feel
Yeah.
real. That felt like dialogue.
Yeah.
I
Oh, the
especially felt like
Cyclops laid down 3 seconds ago. I think he's asleep.
Gosh darn it, William! I wanted to go into that, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's one of the
So I
big
guess we're
ones,
talking
though.
about dialogue.
I will say, like, as soon as the movie started and some of the characters started talking, I was like, am I just dumb, or does this like dialogue not sound like? I guess it's not bad, but it's not great either.
Right. Some of it was
worse.
kind of bad.
But then like yesterday, I watched Interstellar, and I was like, man, this dialogue is like, it sounds like real people talking. And I was like, I kind of makes that Odyssey dialogue kind of stick out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dialogue is something that really did bother me. Well, probably one of my biggest problems with the movie was the dialogue. It just, yeah, like William said, like see the thing with like a fantasy epic such as the Odyssey, I want to be immersed. I want to I want the movie to pull me in and keep me in. But
Yeah.
every time it starts to pull me in, some dialogue happens like that. Because I'm like, this Cyclops scene is really cool. It's a different design. I like the design. It's a different view of it. I like it. I like the freshness of the Cyclops, that it brought. And then I'm like, this is really cool. I like the way this is shot. The lighting is really well done. Everything's looking great. This might be one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I think it's asleep. Oh. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for telling us that. No, I guess show don't tell just doesn't matter anymore. I was just like, we did not need that dialogue in their movie. You could have cut that out.
Yeah.
You could obviously see the one eye that this thing has was closed and it was snoring. Come on.
Yeah.
It just pulls me out. I think that's like my biggest gripe with the movie because every single time that I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the scene. Somebody opens their mouth and I'm just like, shut up. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just dialogue was rough. It was really rough for me.
Yeah, there were definitely a few moments that were kind of like that where it was just really bad dialogue.
Yeah.
Overall, it wasn't like terrible, but there were just several moments like that that were terrible.
Yeah, but at least it was just moments and not
the entire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that also really bothered me was the voice of Agamemnon.
Yeah.
This dude has been like farming the whole movie. As soon as we hear him, I'm just like, what?
That's what it sounds like.
That's how he sounds? Okay. I guess we're doing that. Another scene that I was like immersed in, and I was like, okay, this is good. Oh, here he comes. And then he opens his mouth, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, what?
Yeah. I mean, like, and he's a good actor too. I didn't know who he was because I never looked at his face, but I looked it up later and I was like, oh, okay, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, I like him as an actor.
Great director.
And director. I like him as a director too. But yeah, his voice didn't match everything else.
Yeah. It was like this almost set, and I'm just like, what? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So.
Speaking of the like armor set and stuff, what did y'all think about some of like the costume design?
I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I just didn't. I could tell that it wasn't like the most historically accurate. But again, like to me, I think it just depends on the movie, whether or not like that's okay, and the type of story that they're trying to tell. Like if he was trying to be like extremely historically accurate and they looked like that, I'd be like,
Yeah.
that's a little rough. But I could tell that he was like just telling his own story and telling it from his perspective, telling his view and take on it, and it was his version of it. And it was much more fantastical than if it was trying to be historically accurate, even though it does like if it's a myth. So like obviously there's going to be like fantastical things to it regardless. But it didn't really feel like he was trying to be as extremely historically accurate. So to me, it didn't bother me that the costumes weren't historically accurate, and I thought they looked good. Outside of like, I didn't think they like looked out of place in any way.
Yeah, I think they did well enough with it. Um, I always appreciate more historical realism, especially to things like that, and that's why I love like Robert Eggers so much.
Yeah,
Because if Robert Eggers did the Odyssey, everything would have been exactly historically. All the costumes would have been
yeah,
accurate and everything.
and the dialogue and
Dialogue, they would have been speaking. No.
yeah, they would have
um,
either been speaking Latin or Greek, or they would have been speaking in a very like thick accent.
yeah.
If Robert Eggers had it, I was actually thinking the entire movie. I was like, I wonder what this would look like if Robert Eggers directed this. Because
Yeah.
there were just so many like things that Nolan was doing in this movie that like just reminded me of stuff that Robert Eggers does in his movies that just kind of like brought me in that direction. Also, I just Robert Eggers likes doing like myths and what's the other like myths and folklore and
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
on top of like doing and being like historically accurate
Yeah.
as well as he can with how fantastical his stuff is. But that's just like that's his style.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I always appreciate more historical accuracy, and so I haven't watched too much yet, but I am going to be watching like Metatron and stuff to find out about all those inaccuracies.
yeah,
Um, but overall, I think it was like pretty decent. It wasn't like that one. Oh, I forget the Last Duel or something like the Ridley Scott one that came out not too long ago, where they had the dumb like half helmet thing that didn't make any sense and all. There wasn't
yeah,
anything like that that was just like this doesn't
egregious.
even make sense. Like,
Yeah.
why would you
Yeah,
do that?
right.
Um,
It was at least close enough to
yeah, it
be.
was at least like here's like the ancient Greek aesthetic, and followed
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
pretty well for
I
the most
think
part. But
the only armor pieces that really bothered me was the Trojans. I don't know. I
yeah, I
didn't
kind of liked
like that.
theirs.
you
Really?
think you did
Yeah,
like those?
I did kind of like the Trojan ones.
Huh.
Honestly, what stuck out the most to me is I was kind of like, I don't know, that just didn't quite seem. I mean, maybe it is accurate. Like I said, I'll have to do a little bit more research. But the thing that stuck out to me is that I have not seen in other Greek adaptations or anything was like the pants that they were wearing. I would have thought like because normally they just have like the skirt bit
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then sandals, but like Matt Damon had like full on pants on underneath it, and that looked odd to me. That's what stuck out the most from the costume perspective for me was
Hmm.
the pants.
I didn't even notice
And
that actually.
I'll have to do a little bit more research because like I said maybe it is accurate, but everything I've ever seen from Greeks they tend to have the skirt and then you know just sandals
Nothing.
after that like they're pretty bare legs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also like I do appreciate historical accuracy for the most part. I just don't when it comes to like armor and weapons and stuff. Like I'm not super well versed in that area. So I mean, obviously, when Agamemnon came on screen, I was like, obviously, that's not accurate at all.
Watch that be the most historically. No, but that was pretty cool. I did like the way that they did him and stuff. Like, again, aesthetically, like I thought that the way they did some of the costumes, it was like it's still very like Greek, but they are very much like, oh, this guy's got hero armor on. He's not, And actually, like, speaking of that, Odysseus actually kind of had the most plain armor, even though the one lady, Circe or whatever, was like said that he had hero's armor on. Out of all the heroes, he seemed to have the least hero armor.
Yeah.
Like they could have maybe done a little bit something more special.
I think his helmet was the most hero armor of his entire thing, but he didn't wear it all the time.
Yeah, and even that didn't seem like. I mean, it still seemed pretty normal for like a officer or general or whatever, like the basic plume and all that. But so that was another thing too. Is like he just kind of seemed to have the most plain of like the hero armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much on board with all of it. Maybe I'm wrong about the Trojan armor. It just kind of stuck out to me, oddly. So
yeah, it was definitely like odd in a way that I was like, this probably isn't historically accurate or anything, but I did kind of like the way the Trojan armor looked. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Speaking of Trojan, I want to talk about the Trojan horse. Those scenes. Really, really liked how they did that.
Yeah, I liked it.
Showed inside and stuff, and the one guy getting stabbed and everything. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Cover his mouth and then
wipe off the blood.
Yeah.
And two, I do really like how they did the Trojan horse. I thought they did it in a very realistic way. I also really liked. I don't know if you guys noticed when they come out of the Trojan horse.
I was about to talk about that.
They are like limping because they have been so stiff up in the Trojan horse. Like Odysseus and I forget the Spartan king's name, John Barenthal's character. Like they are like stiff. You can tell they are like limping a bit when they come out.
David like immediately just leaned on the horse.
Like they couldn't quite get their legs under them right away, but they had to immediately like start taking out guards, so they had to like push through it. But yeah, I liked that little detail a lot because I was like, man, being stuck in that for however long, like that would be brutal. Just being cooped up and stiff and yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I'll have to keep an eye out for it next time I watch it. But I mean, I do remember him kind of stumbling out, but I didn't like piece together that it was because he was like stiff and because he was in there. But then I didn't notice the other doing it either, so I'll have to watch out for that more. But
he kind of has trouble getting his legs, and then he goes up against the horse's leg to like catch himself, and you can tell he
I do really like the design of the horse, how it's like rearing up and doing that thing, whereas like because the typical thing is you see just a horse on a thing with wheels on it.
Yeah.
It's a horse standing there, which is like the typical. It's like, yeah, it makes sense, blah blah. But then like, that horse that they had was actually kind of like, oh, I would love to put this up in my. This is actually a great gift. We should put this up in the city center.
It looked like it made sense too the way it was built because it was built out of the ships and stuff. So like the way the ship curved was how the stomach and whatnot curved to the horse. So like it looked like it made sense to be in a position like that and all. So
yeah, and also I like how they Matt Damon, Odysseus said how they were like sitting in each other's piss and crap.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that part.
Yeah, some of them.
They don't have anywhere to go to the bathroom, so they just have to go.
Yeah. Some of them drowning too was pretty cool.
Yeah.
mean, not cool that they drowned, but like it was a cool detail.
Yeah. Because
Oh,
yeah, because it wouldn't make like if they did like obviously it's difficult to drag like you wanted it to be far enough away to where the Trojans didn't see them getting in or anything like that either. But you know, if it wouldn't have made as much sense if they had drug it way inland to where they wouldn't have the water. Whereas like it was just like on the beach, like okay, they just left it as a gift as they have retreated. Like it just made more sense to be on the beach. So, but that also meant yeah, some of them drowned.
Yeah. One thing that bothered me. So, in the scene when they come out of the Trojan horse and then they go to the wall, they take out the guards on the wall. Odysseus goes up on that same wall, throws the torch down, and then it's revealed that there's a huge army there. I'm just like, how did those guards not see that?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing.
I'm like, what? That was something that kind of pulled me out for a moment. I'm just like,
they was in stealth mode. It was in stealth mode. He did. John Barenthal's character did mention that Odysseus knew to wait for a moonless night, so that there wasn't like it would have been dark. So it needed to be dark enough for the army to sneak up.
Yeah, but sneaking an army with all that armor and stuff, I just don't feel like that. I don't know.
They was maxing out their stealth. They maxed out all their stealth before the attack, and then they snuck up on a moonless night.
Well, look at you over here,
But no, they probably wouldn't have been like right up on the wall like that, realistically. But
yeah.
And you couldn't see, and also you couldn't see them until he threw the lantern down, and you couldn't see them until the light was shown, and there was no light there before. So that kind of like helped, I guess. But also, it's kind of like, why is there no light down there?
Yeah.
It was a cool shot, though.
The whole point, are you watching?
Yeah.
You make sure that you're not getting a snuck attack.
Yeah.
And there's no light.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're also way more relaxed because after 10 years, the Greeks have finally left. Like they saw that they're not on the beaches anymore. They did not know that they went around to another area and hid. So they're thinking, okay, it's chill now. The war's over. We can kind of relax.
Yeah, there's also that too. Yeah, they weren't expecting to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So mainly, I'm saying, Ian, is don't be questioning my boy Odysseus's plan. Okay, he knew what he was doing.
I know, but I'm just like, even if you're walking slowly and trying to be quiet, an army sneaking like that's like Game of Thrones, like just sneak attack, Battle of the Bastards kind of thing there. Yeah. Obviously not on the same level, but right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I get
you can't sneak a freaking army. You cannot stealth attack with an army. It's just not happening, especially in those times wearing the armor that they do. It's not happening. I don't know. Maybe they just went one by one, but that, there's
your like turn to sneak up to the wall. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna go.
Oh, dude! I don't think they could have done the whole army like that.
Taking all night.
Yeah. But yeah. I guess it's not that big of a deal. It was just a little nitpick.
Small little detail, yeah.
Yeah. It was a cool shot, though.
I like
dropping the lantern down.
Yes, it was a cool shot.
It was also a cool shot with the gate opening up and Agamemnon just standing there.
Yeah, and then the whole army running, and he just slowly
walked. Also a cool cinematography-wise, that was a very cool shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice realism for coolness.
For the cool shot, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the rule of cool is
the rule of cool.
Rule of cool overpowers realism.
I know. Something that talking about realism, it's said that Troy has the greatest walls. You cannot lay siege onto Troy, that their walls are amazing. And I'm just like, in this movie, I was like,
Yeah, they
really?
looked kind of just normal.
Yeah, yeah.
That probably
Wasn't
could
like
have
those
added to it though
even-
too if they had the giant, impregnable walls that Troy was supposed to have. The guards wouldn't be able to see that far down, especially in the dark like that on a moonless
Oh
night.
yeah, for sure. That would have
But
made it
yeah,
even
so if they
more.
had done it more
I mean,
realistically that way, it would have made the other part more realistic.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, I was seeing those walls, and I'm just like, that's not Troy. What are you talking?
Maybe that was just the outer walls, and there was another wall on the inside. Maybe.
I think the movie Troy did it pretty well.
Yeah.
I think so too. But yeah, just some nitpicks that I just had to get off my chest. Okay, it doesn't affect the movie. Still a wonderfully shot scene there. Liked it. It was very good.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are some things that bothered me. Anyway, just in the moment, just some nitpicks there. The dialogue is not a nitpick. Something else. I want to talk about what you guys think of the soundtrack, the OST. What are your thoughts on that? Well, I want to try to get like some of the small stuff before we start going into characters and casting and all that.
I thought the soundtrack was really cool. I liked it.
I thought it was good, yeah. It's very typical of Nolan to do like that type of soundtrack. It was this kind of like low droning kind of thing. I kind of personally would have liked a little bit more of like an epic soundtrack more than the kind of like, I guess, low droning emotional soundtrack. Just to kind of, but that's just my personal opinion. I tend to like that style of music more, especially for like fantasy, like the like Lord of the Rings type stuff. I like, but that's just my personal opinion. And I would have liked to have seen something like that in this, or heard something like that in this. But obviously, Nolan has his taste, and that just fits. And even going into it, I was like, was really wondering what the soundtrack was going to be like, and I was kind of imagining more something kind of epic like that. Then I had to like stop myself and remember the type of music that Nolan typically has in his movies, and I'm like, it's probably not going to be like that. And I was right. When I got into the movie, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I was. This is not what I wanted, but this is what I was expecting. It's not like bad or anything. I thought it was really good, but it's
ones that
more,
really stood out. I thought was like the siren song music. I thought was really
yeah.
cool. I also really like the musical accent too. Every time he plucked his bow,
Yeah.
like I loved that.
Yeah, it was really good.
Two good examples. Other than that, I kind of felt like it was generic. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about the soundtrack. And I guess the thing with like what you said about like just kind of like Christopher Nolan's style, he kind of has that kind of goes in line with my earlier thoughts of just like maybe he's not the right director for this adaptation. I kind of felt like that supported that a little bit, but like not that it's still pretty good movie, but like yeah, like I don't know, the soundtrack didn't really stand out aside from like the siren stuff, which I want to talk about that scene in a moment. And then yeah, like the bow plucking. There was a couple times that I felt like I was hearing some flutes in there, but they were very brief, and I'm just kind of like, oh, that was interesting. I was gone. Okay.
Yeah.
They should have
felt like-
played. They should have played the Eagle Bearer from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That would have been dope. That's
Did you
really
hear
good
that, Ben?
music.
I kind of wish they had like leaned more into like Greek sounding music, or like type of music you think about when you think about ancient Greece or Greek mythology, kind of like leaned into that a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, generic. I would use the word generic for that soundtrack, but it's definitely in line with like his other movies, and it just kind of started to sound like his other movies, like Oppenheimer and what's the other one? I'm trying to think of. I don't remember. Kind of like Oppenheimer, even though Oppenheimer did have that like one song that like went viral and like everybody was listening to it. When he like, I forget the part of the movie it comes from, but this movie I felt like it didn't have like that one song that everybody that's like super recognizable, like the theme. It had the pluck from the bow, but that's not a theme. That's just a note. And then yeah, the scene with the harpies. What is it? What? That's not what they're called.
The sirens.
The sirens. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those. That's. Not, but as far as like a theme goes, I can't really think of anything specific. And yeah, so that's kind of like why I was saying like I kind of wish it had been like more fantasy type music rather than like just his typical sound.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I just need
understand that.
the soundtrack and like actually get a more appreciation for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably. I mean, I like listening to movie soundtracks and stuff. I've got some on vinyl. You know, I did videos on that stuff. But like, I definitely will be exploring it a little bit. But just on the first watch, just going through the movie, generic is definitely just what it kind of felt like for me.
Also,
Usually,
I do love how the Cyclops was like musical instruments, like his voice when he was like screaming and yelling. It was like a cacophony of musical instruments. I was like, whoa, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's. I think we've said everything for the music. Let's talk about two scenes right now because we mentioned both of these scenes when we're talking about the music. The Cyclops scene and the Siren scene. Honestly, probably my two favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
I want to say some things about the Sirens first. I absolutely love the fact that the audience does not actually hear it.
Yeah.
Like they drowned out the sound as soon as everybody put the wax in, and you, as an audience member, were not allowed to listen to it. So Odysseus was the only one who heard it, and his reaction and that acting was really well done. And I just love the fact. I think that adds to the scene so much. The mystery and the fantasy element of it was just not being able to hear a siren song. Because it's like, if you were to make the actual siren song, it's like it was just been made by humans. So it's kind of like that was really the best way to do it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I loved it.
Yeah. I think I've said this to my friends and everything. I do wish that we did get to hear it, but also like I understand not letting the audience hear it for that reason. But also because also you have to come up with a song that is supposedly the most beautiful song that makes you like long for that and long for it and just kind of forget it. And it's like how do you make a song like
exactly?
How do you make a song that's like that is even close to like that resonates to that? So it's kind of like you can try and like yeah you might make a really beautiful song, but what if it doesn't work?
Yeah, like you have your song, the song you write has to match Matt Damon's
performance
reaction there. like he was crying and then he starts yelling and screaming, and it's like, I don't know about you, but I've never heard a song that good, or like it's just like that's the reaction right there.
There's always some people react to certain artists that somebody's making.
Yeah, I mean, some people.
Apparently.
I don't know. I mean, I love music, but like,
Hey man, they should just put Taylor Swift up there. I mean, people act like that all the time at her concerts. So.
I know. Let's not even get into that. Let's just move on. Stuff's.
They should have played Wood. So they should have played Wood by Taylor Swift.
Anyway, let's talk about the Cyclops. We don't have anything else to say about the Sirens. Yeah, I just love the scene, how it was portrayed and everything.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
I do. How that one guy was just like, let's do this, and takes out the wax and just jumps off.
Yeah. Like, I want to hear it too.
He's like, no, I'm doing this. This is a dream of mine. This is a childhood dream. I'm doing it.
Where did they even find an Asian Greek guy anyway?
I saw someone say like that island eventually became Japan.
Do what?
That
island became Japan.
So funny.
Anyway, what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh, that scene had a really good monologue after of Matt Damon talking about describing the song to the best of his ability. Yeah. Or sorry, I should say Odysseus, not Matt Damon. Matt Damon didn't. He said it.
We'll get into that later.
Matt Damon actually heard the Siren song. Christopher Nolan was like, "Yeah, you're actually going to hear it. Just doing everything for real on this movie."
Yeah. He didn't. That wasn't acting. That was actually Matt.
They hired real sirens.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan found the actual sirens and was like, "All right, we're gonna take this ship right by it. Everyone's gonna plug their ears except Matt Damon. We're gonna tie him down real tight.
Sorry,
we got to get the shot."
Christopher Nolan was just
the last thing they shot just
casually and just hired.
But yeah, that monologue was actually really good. I really liked that. Him describing how it made him feel, how the Siren song made him feel. Yeah. But what is the Cyclops scene?
Cyclops scene.
Like a Cyclops scene. That was also a really great scene. That was one of the scenes I was most excited for going into this.
Oh yeah, it's the Cyclops is so iconic to this story. You know, it's like one of the first things everyone thinks about when you mention the Odyssey. It's like Cyclops.
Yeah.
So I thought it was portrayed really well, and just the overall scene. Up until that one dialogue, I think is asleep. Other than that.
That's one moment of the entire sequence.
Yeah. Other than that, it was pretty great.
Yeah. And I was unfortunate to like see images online before I saw the movie, and I was like trying to like go in blind, but I saw an image online before. I was like, man, that does look really good though. That does look really good. And then I saw it in the movie, and I was like, man, they did a really good job on that. Yeah. And also just like him shutting the rock, and then it's dark except for where the fire is, and him just grabbing people out of the dark. That was really cool.
Yeah. Great stuff.
When she starts like eating the first like soldier that he eats there, it was very much like the De Goya painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And didn't was it you, Ian, that was saying about the miniature, or was it someone else who was telling me that?
I can't remember.
I think they basically had little like soldiers, but they're edible food. Yeah. So he was actually eating like an edible little soldier, and that's why it looked so good.
I hadn't seen that. I'd seen where they used a puppet for like the actors to for I guess for the VFX supervisors and the camera to be able to frame the best way, but also for the actors to react to and talk to in a way. So that way they're not just reacting to nothing.
Right.
I'd seen that. I'd seen the big puppet, but I hadn't seen that the actual actor was like eating like edible balls.
Basically, yeah. Because like when it's like the one where he's like he takes a bite and there's like the arm falls or something, like it just looks like, oh yeah, there is something like that's real there. There's something there that's really there.
Yeah.
And it's really happening. So, but what is the actual like timeline though on Elmo's world? Like, was he a Cyclops before becoming Mr. Noodle, or was he Mr. Noodle first?
What?
That's a good question.
Mr. Noodle from Elmo's world is the Cyclops.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, Nathaniel didn't watch Elmo's world.
What kind of title did you have?
A great one. What are you talking about?
You've not watched Elmo's world on Sesame Street?
I saw some of it. I didn't watch like.
So the human actor that was on Elmo's world, that's the Cyclops.
Okay, I don't remember that.
I think he was also Cindy Lou Who's dad in the Jim Carrey Grinch. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Okay, well, there you go.
Okay. So Nathaniel was just like, "What is going on? What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
where did Elmo come from?
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah,
I'll look this up after.
Look up Elmo's world and Mr. Noodle, and then you'll understand.
Yeah. Also,
maybe I'll remember it. Maybe I'll remember it once I see it. But, like,
yeah.
Keep my memory at the moment.
Also, I guess Mr. Noodle is a son of Poseidon.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy lore drop there. I guess that means
I will say
be considered a son of Zeus. Do you think that's conspiracy theory? Would you make a different video for that? Anyway, let's just move on.
I will say in the theater that I watched it, the Dolby, it was so freaking loud sometimes. And when he like got stabbed in the eye, and he's just like I said before, using like musical instruments as his like voice was like really, really cool, and I loved that. But it was so loud. I think I was also sitting right next to one of the speakers, so like it was incredibly loud. And they said, "Oh, he's talking." I could tell that there were like words.
Yeah.
I had no idea what he said, and they were like, "Oh, he said that he was the son of Poseidon," and I was like, "I missed that."
It was like, I was just barely could hear it, but it was something like Poseidon and avenge me, or basically something like that is what he was like crying, like, but not at first when he was stabbed and screaming and whatnot. It was like later when he was like sitting up when they were like,
yeah. I could tell that there were words. It was just like partially because it was like the way that they made his voice sound. It was hard for me to hear, but also just how loud the theater was. Like it was so loud, I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah. I also did like their plan of like, let's wake him up and then stab him in the eye with a blade hot.
Yeah.
I was also like, I brought this up a few minutes ago, but when they left and he spat out the helmet of the soldiers, I was like, oh, he realized that they left. He was letting them leave. But then also like, I was mad, but also I understood why Odysseus immediately turned around and shot the the Cyclops, because like I get it, because like he is really connected to his men, and that just like made him mad.
Yeah.
And like his emotions got the better of him there, but also at the same time was like, dude, you're good. Just leave. What are you doing? And then they lost more men because of him being emotional, but yeah.
I was a little surprised that the Cyclops was able to follow them so well after getting shot. Because again, he can't see anymore.
Yeah.
I would be like, if I was that Cyclops, I'd have been like tripped on the first rock and rolled the rest of the way down. If I killed anybody, it would have been because I fell on their boat, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, especially after he got in the water
scene.
up and was still able to get his
Because I probably would have shot him too, because I was like, there's no way he can follow us that well down this mountain. Like,
right, yeah. Being blind and all, you know, but maybe he just underestimated how good his sense of awareness is without being able to see.
Yeah, I mean, they did just sneak past him out and escape, so it obviously wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
But he must have known, or maybe he just spat out the helmet without realizing like they were out there, and it wasn't a taunt. It was just him like, I got something stuck between my teeth.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that on it. Like, it felt like a taunt. Like, so I was wondering if he had just realized after that they had gotten out that they've escaped. Or I can tell that they're not in the cave anymore. But because I mean, even when he could see, he could tell they were in the cave, but he like seemed like he couldn't even see all that well inside the cave.
Yeah.
Even before.
Or he just didn't care, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. When you read the book, Ian, you'll have to let us know if there's any more insight to that.
I did hear something about the nobody section, because I guess the Cyclops asks Odysseus what his name is, and he says, I'm nobody. So when other Cyclops ask him what happened to his eye, he said nobody, or like nobody stabbed me or something. That was a whole aspect that was taken out that I was hearing about there, which is pretty interesting. I'm like kind of excited about that.
I also would like to read it.
Yeah. I would also like to read it.
I have a nice copy of the Iliad and the Odyssey together, but
I remember trying to read the Iliad when I was younger, and it was incredibly boring to me. But I don't remember if I read the Odyssey or if I don't remember. But I do remember being like, the Odyssey is much more interesting than the Iliad. The Iliad is just, maybe I would find the Iliad more interesting now, but as a kid I was like, this is just, it felt like a history book about a war that I didn't care about. But the Odyssey felt more like a fantasy, which I was much more interested in, so I was much more. But maybe now the Iliad is also mythology, so. But I feel like there's a lot less fantastical stuff that happens in the Iliad than what happens in the Odyssey.
Yeah.
So. But I might go back and try and read it and see if I might actually find it interesting now as an adult. Yeah. But we'll see.
So, I think now's a good time to get into characters and acting and all that stuff.
Characters and casting?
Yes.
All right. Cool.
I kind of felt like a lot of the actors, I don't know, the casting was weird. One of the most weirdest things for me was John Bothell. He's just in there. I don't know. He just felt out of place for me.
Yeah. I mean, even in the trailer, I saw that. I was like,
what's Punisher doing here? What's Spider-Man doing here? What the?
Spider-Man didn't take me out of it as much.
Yeah,
John Bernthal is like, he's very much like from like New York area up there, and he's got that accent, and so like it's kind of weird placing somebody with a New York accent right in the middle of ancient Greece. It's a little
I get where the decision came in, because they were like, okay, this guy's known for being a badass. He's the Punisher. He's going to be the Spartan King. But it was just John Barenthal. Like,
Yeah.
And I do love John Bernthal. He's one of my favorite actors. I love him. He's a really great actor. But yeah, he did kind of feel a little out of place in this movie.
Yeah.
Not as much as like I felt when I initially watched the trailer. But it still was kind of like a little weird.
Yeah.
A little weird.
One of the
I feel like he would have been better as Agamemnon because he's got the better voice.
Yeah.
That is true. One of the actors that actually surprised me was Tom Holland. I really was not expecting, like, I was just expecting to see Spider-Man, but then it was like, oh, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, no, Tom Holland's actually.
I think he did a good job in this.
Yeah, he is. He is a good actor. I knew. I was like, I knew that he was a good actor, but I don't know. He's one of those actors that I feel like is going to be a little bit cursed with being that one role that he's most famous for. A little bit like how Robert Pattinson was for a little while, being known as the Twilight guy, you know, and he kind of had to get out of that by doing good films and stuff. So
yeah,
I kind of feel like that way with Tom Holland. Is like everybody just sees Spider-Man all the time, but like,
I think
he can act. He's good.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I've seen him in several other things outside of Spider-Man, but I do think that a lot of people forget that he is a good actor because they mostly only have seen him in Spider-Man, and so like that's where he is in a lot of things. But I've seen him in a few other things as well, and like he always shows up and he's always doing the best. It's the best he can. There was one movie I watched called Cherry, where he was the main character and he was playing a real person, and he was playing a very different type of character. That movie overall wasn't very good, but I think the standout of that movie was his performance, Tom Holland's performance. And yeah, just a few other movies that I've seen him in just solidified to me that he's actually a really good actor outside of playing Spider-Man. And this movie, I think he did a really good job as well.
Yeah, he was good. Another surprise for me was Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I would agree with that. When I've heard that she was
pretty good. Yeah, I was like,
she doesn't feel like someone I would put in.
I don't feel like I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff with her in it, but like at the same time, I'm like every time I see her on screen, I'm just kind of like, okay, like she's an actor that I'm not.
I've seen her in a few movies. I agree. I've seen her in a few movies where I feel like she's done really well, and I've seen her in a few movies where I feel like she was miscast. And one of those was actually a Nolan movie. I did not feel like she was a very good Catwoman at all. I feel like she should not.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen those movies, but I kind of feel the same way. But yeah, she was pretty good in this. I think that she had a pretty good performance.
Yeah, she was good in Interstellar as well. That was the other Nolan movie she was in. She's good in that. I just don't feel like she's a good Catwoman. But that's a whole different conversation.
What do you think, William? Sorry, I'm trying to move on to the next one, but like we gotta put your piece in. You were talking about Tom Holland, though. Were you?
I thought. I mean, I was just saying. I thought Tom Holland was really good in that.
Okay.
Robert Pattinson also really, really fantastic.
Yeah. I think
one of the surprise ones for me, because obviously there was a lot of questionable casting in this, but the one that surprised me, it was actually like, okay, this actually worked really well, was John Leguizamo. Because I didn't know how someone who's Hispanic playing an ancient Greek and it worked really well. He did a really good job with that.
I
was
had
really
no
pleased
clue.
with
I
that.
had not even heard that he was going to be in that movie. So like when he showed up, I was like, "What? Huh? Wait,
Yeah,
what?"
yeah,
Yeah, no, he worked really well. I think he just plays. He's just a really good actor.
yeah. He
Um,
is.
the first thing I ever saw him in was Ice Age, and
Same.
I only knew he was in that because like when I was younger, I loved watching behind the scenes of movies on the DVDs, and we went and watched. Ice Age was one of our favorites growing up, and we watched the behind the scenes a lot. And then in animation, you get to see
Yeah,
what the actors actually look like. So like in the behind the scenes, I saw him. He talked about how he found the voice for Sid the Sloth and everything, and he just has a very distinct look,
yeah.
and that just kind of stuck with me, I guess. And then I started seeing him pop up in live action movies, and I was like, oh. And then, but everything I've seen him in, he's always doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
He's actually a really good actor. I just wish he'd. I think now people are starting to realize how good he is, and he's actually starting to get like really good roles,
Yeah.
but or at least more bigger roles, I guess, because I haven't. I'm sure he's been getting roles for years, but
Yeah.
they're probably just either smaller or more smaller movies. But,
Yeah, I need to see more stuff with him. The only other films besides like Ice Age that I've seen, he's in John Wick. I thought
yeah.
he did pretty well in that. And then I remember him in George A. Romero's Land of the Dead. I remember him being in that, but it's been a long time since I've seen that, so I can't even say anything about it. I can't remember his performance very well. I just remember he was in it. I'm pretty sure he was more of an antagonist in that movie.
I think so.
I don't know, William, help me out. I think he was.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, also, but I think you're right.
Yeah. You kind of froze there for a
He
moment.
froze for a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just said it's been a long time since I've seen it, also, but I think you're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's actually a really good actor. I think he did a really good job in this movie as well.
Sure.
He didn't take me out of it at all. So what are the more questionable casting decisions for you guys? Like what felt kind of out of place when you heard about it, and then what kind of like I guess confirmed that when you saw the movie, if there were any that confirmed it.
I have one, but I'm gonna wait because I feel like, I mean, like how deep do we want to go into like some of them? Because like there's a lot of discourse online about like casting, and I'm just like, I don't really care about that. Like if they
I
do
guess
good,
as deep
they
as
do
you
good.
want to go,
Yeah.
like I
I mean,
don't say anything that you don't feel like you need to, or don't say anything you don't
yeah,
want
like
to.
like the thing that really was questioning for me and confirmed. Like here's the thing, and this is not what you guys are thinking, and this might actually upset some people. It was really hard for me to see Matt Damon as Odysseus. I had trouble throughout the entire movie seeing him as Odysseus. I'm sorry. I know he's the main character, and I'm struggling to see him as the main character. I don't know what it was about his performance. I know he's a good actor. I've seen him in good movies. He's a great actor, but I just don't feel like he was the right fit for Odysseus. I I struggled a lot with Matt Damon in this movie. I don't know.
I kind of agree with you on it there. I think as I watched the movie and as the movie went on, like I kind of bought into it a little bit more. But especially when
Yeah.
they first announced it, I was like, that feels weird. That feels real weird. Not that like again, it has nothing to do with Matt Damon as as an actor. He's a great actor. He played Jason Bourne, so like he can do action. He can do like that.
Yeah.
I think Odysseus is a different type of character from like the types of characters that Matt Damon has played before. So it's just kind of I think that's why. And I think he did some of the like action scenes like really well. But when it came down to him being um, more the like intelligence side of Odysseus, more so than the like war general side of Odysseus. And also like I don't know, I just didn't really buy the fact that he was like a war veteran.
Yeah. So
I don't know. And I feel like this is giving Matt Damon a lot of like downplaying his ability, but I just there are certain actors that just can't play certain characters, and that's I'm sorry, like as an actor myself, like that's just something you have to like realize about yourself that you're not going to be able to play everybody because you just aren't right for certain types of characters. And
yeah,
I think that just comes down to Matt Damon and Odysseus. It's not that he's a bad actor. It's not that he can't play those like a war veteran, or he can't play a really smart character. He can't play like it's not that. It's just all of who Odysseus is and all of who Matt Damon is as a person. They just didn't quite fit, I guess. And it's just it has nothing to do with his acting ability. It has more to do with who Odysseus is as a character and who Matt Damon is as a person, and it just didn't quite.
yeah,
There were parts that worked. There were, I
yeah.
think, overall,
I
like wasn't so bad it took you out of it, but
oh
like,
yeah. I think one scene that I really did like that I think he did well with was when he goes to the witch after some of his crew is torn into pigs.
yeah,
That was one scene that I was like, okay, this is I'm seeing Odysseus come out of this scene a little bit more.
I agree with that for sure, 100%.
Yeah, like that was I think one of his more better acting, and then some of his like monologues, like at the end of the siren scene,
Yeah,
that was really good. When he's first talking to Penelope, when he gets back and he's playing the beggar, that scene's really good. I really like that scene as well. But
yeah,
yeah, I just struggled with Matt Damon as Odysseus, and you know, going back to something that you said of like some actors are just not right for roles, like in Troy, who played Odysseus,
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. So it's like you
Yeah,
got Sean
he
Bean
was
and Matt
perfect
Damon,
for.
and it's
He
kind of
was
like very different, you know.
yeah. His I've seen his scenes from Troy popping up on my Instagram feed, and I'm like, man, he was a really great Odysseus. He played
Yeah,
that role perfect.
I need to watch that movie again, but I
There's
remember him being great.
there's another movie. I think it came out pretty recently too, like in the last year or so. I think it's called The Return, where Ralph Fiennes is playing Odysseus. And I kind of want to check that out and see how
Who?
Ralph
He
Fiennes.
seems like he seems like he'd be great.
Yeah, because he's like
Name something he's in. I don't know that name.
lots of things. What is Ralph
He
Fiennes in?
played Voldemort in Harry Potter. He was in Grand Budapest Hotel. He was in uh, 28 Years Later. That's
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, that older guy.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm picturing him now. You said
Yeah.
Grand Budapest Hotel, 28 Years Later. I
Yeah.
haven't seen either of those films, but I've seen
The
enough.
Return came out in 2024, so not too long ago, and he plays Odysseus in
Okay,
that.
I didn't
So
even know that.
kind of
Okay.
want to. I
I wanna
remember
see
seeing
that.
a trailer for it. I kind of want to see how he handles that role because he's really good.
Supposedly, I saw this on the internet, and I saw it on some random person's. Like this is not from a news source or anything, so I don't know how valid it is. I never researched it or anything, but it might be worth looking into if you're interested. But apparently, Christopher Nolan went to several different actors, and they all turned for Odysseus, and they all turned it down. And Matt Damon was like his last choice. He went to Hugh Jackman, Leonardo DiCaprio, Cillian Murphy. I forget who else was on the list, but I'm not sure how real that is. It felt kind of fake because, first of all, when I remember when Oppenheimer came out, someone asked Cillian Murphy. He'd been in like a bunch of Nolan movies, but he'd always played a side character. And they asked him like what it was like for him to play for when he got the call from Nolan to be the main character, like what that was like. He's like, when Christopher Nolan calls you and asks you to be the main character, you just say yes. So I was like, there was part of me that was like, I don't know if that's real, because partly
Also,
because like he's such a big name that a lot of people would just say yes to being the main character, unless maybe scheduling conflicts with other projects they were working on.
Right.
But also, like, every name on that list had played a main character in his previous movies before. Oh, Christian Bale was on there too.
Oh.
So it was kind of like, that feels I mean, maybe feels a little made up.
Yeah.
So I'm not never looked into it to see if that was true or not. But yeah, it's could have been that like Matt Damon was his last choice.
Yeah, I would also say that I don't think any of those actors would have been a good Odysseus either, but that's just me. I don't know.
I feel like some of them would have been. I feel like I could see Hugh Jackman doing a good job. I feel like I could see Christian Bale doing a pretty good job. But I don't really want to see Leonardo DiCaprio.
No.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Cillian Murphy. I love both of them as actors. I don't think they would have been good as Odysseus.
Yeah, I think out of all of those, my pick would be Christian Bale.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
Yeah. I like all those actors. They are very great actors, obviously. But like, I don't know. I don't really see Hugh Jackman. He's more at the bottom for me. I don't know.
Really? I think I'm just thinking of more like I'm just picturing like Prisoners, and just like I know his range is far more.
I would tell you right now because I've been seeing this. A lot of people agree with this, but The Last of Us, that should have been Hugh Jackman, not
Pedro Pascal.
That should have been Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman would have done really good there. Yeah.
That definitely.
I don't feel like Pedro Pascal was a bad choice for that. Personally, was there better roles out there? Yeah. Were there better actors out there for that role? But definitely. I think people are saying.
Yeah, I think Prisoners is enough for Hugh Jackman to take that role. All right, enough
sidetracking. We'll just have to watch every adaptation of the Odyssey ever, and then rate all the Odysseuses.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Who was the best Odysseus?
One other character / casting choice I want to talk about is Zendaya as Athena.
Yeah.
That was just kind of weird.
It was a little weird.
Every time she came up, I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm seeing Athena. I just feel like I'm seeing Zendaya. She's just famous now.
I do like how like
she wasn't in it that much, so it's not that big deal.
It's kind of called into question like whether she was actually Athena or if she was just a vision that he was having once you saw that, like at the end when you saw that she was a Trojan civilian who got beheaded during the siege.
Yeah.
But also like they talked about how treat everyone with kindness because they might be a god in disguise, and so it's like, was that Athena that they cut the head off of, and now she's just showing up to Odysseus as a vision, or is he haunted by what happened at Troy and he's just seeing visions of her? Either one I think are valid, and like I did kind of like thought that worked a little bit better once we got to the end of the movie. But again, like I kind of see your point. Like I think that's the biggest issue with like stunt casting like famous people for like every major role is like at a certain point you stop seeing characters and you start just seeing famous people.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe that's why Matt Damon didn't work, is because he's like, you just see Matt Damon because he's so famous.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of, to a certain extent, that's kind of how I felt about the entire movie. Like, did all the actors do a poor job? No, but like, I'm just seeing famous person, famous person, famous person, famous person, famous person throughout the entire thing, and it's just kind of like,
I think out
I
of
think
all of the, sorry,
I think we were going to say the same thing.
oh, you think so?
I think so. I was going to say that I think out of all the famous people who worked really well was Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I was gonna say out of everyone, like Robert Pattinson and Tom Holland, I think disappeared into their roles the most. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you still can recognize them and see
Yeah.
them, but you don't just see the famous person. They were actually like in their roles.
Yes.
Whereas like everyone else did kind of have
I
that.
love
Okay,
you on screen.
yeah, that's Matt Damon, not Odysseus. That's so and so. That's
That's Anne Hathaway. Oh look,
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway. Oh look, Zendaya.
Yeah.
Oh look, John
exactly.
Bernthal.
Yeah.
And so like, I think we've gotten away as like this kind of more commentary on like movies in general in this period of time, is that like they don't really cast unknowns in like major like roles anymore, because it's like a risk.
Yeah.
You're taking a risk, and also like the more famous people you have in your movie, the more likely more people are going to come see it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get having like major stars in your movie, but also at the same time, it's like, what if there were better people out there who don't have like a name to their to themselves, because they're not super well known. They've only been in a few things. But yeah, so like if they only have like a few titles to their name, but they are the better choice for that role.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of directors aren't going for the better choice; they're going for the more famous person, and I feel like that's just kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because like,
It is.
there's some really great actors out there who probably would have been perfect for Odysseus, but they just don't have the star power.
That is one thing that I feel like this movie just kind of suffers from overall. Like, not every performance is bad. There are some great performances in there. There are some decent performances in there, and there are some bad ones. But just overall, I feel like the focus was, let's just get as many famous people as possible so we can sell the movie. And I'm just like, well, first off, you're making a movie on the Odyssey. It's gonna be sold. Like, come on.
Yeah, and your name is Christopher Nolan. Like, a lot of people, like they did a poll I saw that they asked a bunch of people who went and saw the movie why they went and saw it, and a lot of people said, "Oh, because it's Christopher Nolan." So it's like, because your name is Christopher Nolan, your name's on the poster. If people are going to go see it, because you're Christopher Nolan. So out of everybody who doesn't have to do stunt casting, it's Christopher Nolan, because his name is the stunt.
Right.
His name is the one that's going to put butts in seats.
Yeah.
So he could cast anybody, and I don't think the studio would care, because his name is the one that's going to get people in seats.
Definitely.
Right.
So,
but if anything, it's been such a big thing, we'll probably get some other adaptations of it coming out from smaller things, and we'll maybe have a little bit of a boom in ancient Greece and Greek mythology type stuff too, which
and I mean,
I'd be down with.
Things like Obsession, I think is going to help with that too, because I was an indie filmmaker. Plus no names as the like main characters, main actors. So like, seeing that like it can do well.
Can be done. You just got to make a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think hopefully it's looking a little bit better, but we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, I personally don't have a whole lot more to go into. I'm personally, I don't know about you guys, but I'm personally getting to the point that I'm like, I want to just talk about it overall and then give my rating.
I have one more thing I want to say about casting that's been
Okay.
kind of bothering me. I've been seeing a lot of people online complaining about uh, certain people being cast, specifically like people of color being cast in this movie. And I think a lot of it is coming from like racism, because you're always going to have that, unfortunately, but there's always going to be some level of racism when you cast people of color in a more historical movie. But my biggest annoyance is that people are judging this movie based off of like, oh, there weren't black people in ancient Greece. Oh, there weren't Asian people in ancient Greece. There weren't Indian people in ancient Greece. Yes, you're right, but also you have to have some level of critical thinking and realize that this is not a historic. We mentioned this earlier when we were talking about costumes. Like, this is not a historical piece of work. If I would tend to agree with them more if it was like, oh yeah, Christopher Nolan is trying to make an extremely accurate, historically accurate movie, and he has all these people of color in there, simply for the fact that it's like that's not what ancient Greece looked like. But since it's not, you know, that's not what the story is. It's more of like his retelling, his take on it, and it's like, um, he just felt like those actors met that criteria for those characters the best. And yeah, I just feel like when people talk about this stuff, they're not taking into account like what the story is, what the story that he's trying to tell is. Is it supposed to be historically accurate? Is it supposed to be more of like his take on it and more kind of like creative liberties and stuff? And but that just comes down to watching the movie, taking it as it is, trying to understand his take on it, and then deciding if it was um, the right choice or not. And I feel like personally, he was just doing his own take on it, and like the casting was what he wanted. And I feel like it didn't take me out of it. It didn't bother me at all. And I feel like that's just what the people on the internet don't know what they're talking about. That's my take on it.
Yeah, it didn't like damage the movie that much. Like it
No,
didn't.
no.
It did take away this immersion some because you're like, oh, we're in ancient
Yeah.
Greece. Oh, that's Helen of
Yeah.
Sparta or Helen of Troy. If you know the historical stuff, then you're kind of like it does pull you away. Or oh yeah, we're in a movie, but it is a fantasy thing. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the story that much. Um,
Yeah.
but it did have those
I'll
little
give you
moments
the
of like breaking full submersion.
yeah.
Because someone like me who doesn't know a lot of the history and stuff is like those things do
Yeah.
take me out a little bit.
I'll give you the immersion thing. I'll give you that. Like it's like it just kind of reminds you that you're watching a movie rather than
Yeah.
being fully immersed.
But if I didn't know
But
anything
it's not
about
all,
that, ancient Greece or anything, then it
yeah.
wouldn't
But
do
I guess
that.
it also depends on the type of person that you are and the type of interests that you have. It's like if you are like super interested in history and you like know all this stuff and like it's just what interests you, you're gonna notice that stuff a lot more, and you're gonna question it a lot more. But for some people, that it doesn't bother you
Yeah.
at all.
For me,
And now,
the like I said, the pants thing broke this immersion for me a bit. I was like, that seems a little odd.
yeah, so like, yeah, it comes down to personal experience as well. So there's that as well. You got to take that into account. Um, for me personally, I feel like if he had been if Christopher Nolan set out to make an extremely historical accurate story. As
if Robert Eggers made the movie,
accurate, and like he was like got a bunch of people on set to like help him to make sure that he was staying historically accurate to costumes, to the way they were talking, to the way that the ships looked, the way the sets looked, and trying to line up being like extreme. And then he cast all these people of color in the movie. Then it'd be like,
yeah,
all right, that's a little weird.
Yeah,
kind of breaking it a little bit. Why'd you do that? But he wasn't doing that. That wasn't what he was setting out to do. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's fantasy. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like some of the now I'm not defending what people say online, obviously not. But I kind of feel like to a certain extent some of it does kind of come from where there's a lot of like diverse casting in recent things and people will to use the casting as an excuse to or as a defense mechanism for any kind of criticism. The studios have done that for sure. The whole thing with Kenobi,
the
Obi-Wan
Wars
Kenobi show. Yeah, Star Wars does it a lot. So I think it's a little
more. Does it a lot.
Yeah, it's a little more. I feel like some of it, at least for me, is a little more like that. Of like, oh, we've seen this before. We've seen people of color being casted, and then it's like, oh, we criticize stuff like writing or characterization, all that stuff, and then we're immediately called racist. So it's like, okay, I don't want to go through that again. So it's just kind of like, it's like, okay. To a certain extent, I feel like some of it comes from that. That's just like, well, it's like, it doesn't matter who you cast. It's like, you're just going to call me a racist when I say I don't like the movie, no matter what I didn't like about it. I'm just going to be called a racist for it. You know? Yeah. It's like a pathetic defense mechanism to avoid criticism. That is what it's been used for. It's not being useful in this because obviously it was a good enough movie to like it doesn't need to do that. And it's like it's not a problem with this movie, but I'm just saying that like some of the discourse online might be coming from some of that stuff that's like,
and of course there are
if you don't like it.
They are saying some racist things and don't like the fact that that's not everybody. But again, like it comes down to like some people wanted a historically accurate thing, and then when they didn't get it, they get upset. It's like, okay, well, that's what you expected. That's not what you got. You can't be upset about what you expected and didn't get. Like, I'm sorry.
People get too upset about media nowadays.
And a lot of times it just comes from like, a lot of times it's just like, this is what I wanted, and it's like, okay, well, that's not what he made because it's not. That's not what he wanted to do. Sorry, that's not what you wanted. Oh well.
Yeah.
And just people lack critical thinking as well. So.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just something I want to say, that I just don't think that everybody who kind of like has an issue with that should be labeled a racist automatically. Like, I don't think that's fair because you don't know people, you don't know everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm kind of a part of that in a way because it's like I was very critical of everything about the Kenobi show and other things, and it's just like I felt like I was being bombarded with like, oh, you're racist. Obviously, it's like I'm not even talking about that. It's like that's just so frustrating to be talking about something like
they had. What do you mean?
Quality of the writing and then just being immediately called a racist. It's just like that's just the mentality of today with anything. It's like anything, even with like video games, you talk about the quality and functionality of a video game, and if that video game has diversity in it and they really focused on diversity and marketed diversity, they're going to use that as a defense mechanism to avoid all criticism, period. So, thankfully, that's not the case with the Odyssey, and I'm very thankful for that because it is a pretty decent movie. So,
Yeah.
Overall, are we closing things out?
Yeah.
We can. Unless anyone's got anything else to add about anything.
Not really. I kind of feel like I
Somebody get these beggars out of here.
Okay, fine. I'll just leave it. I'm the most good looking right now, so. No.
Oh,
who should start?
One more just cool thing to point out is that it had a whole like body horror scene.
Oh yeah,
turning them into the swine. That was cool.
Oh,
yeah,
that was.
We didn't
cool.
even mention that was really cool the way they did that.
Yeah,
I really dug it.
Yeah,
all them practical effects, like it was just
love it. More of it, please.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
Love the practical effects.
Yep.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
who wants to start? Because I feel like we're all gonna give this movie different ratings.
I think we are. Especially based off.
You start.
All right.
We'll start with you.
I really enjoyed this movie. Personally, I love Christopher Nolan. I really appreciate his movies, his style of filmmaking, how he's one of the few directors keeping practical effects alive. I love him as a director. I feel like this is definitely one of his better ones. I give it a 9 out of 10.
I guess I'll go next. Okay. This was a movie, and this doesn't happen often, that I felt like my expectations were met. I didn't expect a masterpiece, and I didn't expect a disaster. I was expecting a good to decent film. And I got that. I really felt like I got that. I liked a lot of things that are in it, but I also disliked a lot of other things as well. Overall, I think it's a good wash. Not necessarily something I'm going to be jumping to the opportunity to see again for a while. Probably not going to be going to the theater a second time for this one, unfortunately. But I still enjoyed... What?
I said I might.
Okay, well, good for you. But, like, I enjoyed it. I'm excited to read The Odyssey soon. I'm after seeing the movie, that's probably my next book that I'm going to be reading. But yeah, I think there's a lot of problems with it. I feel like I still kind of feel like Christopher Nolan wasn't necessarily the right director for this adaptation. Matt Damon, not necessarily the best Odysseus for me, but yeah, and just a lot of like my personal taste and stuff. But overall, I feel like this is a 6 out of 10 for me.
That's low.
It is low.
It's real low.
Yeah, I knew we were going to have different scores.
I knew we were too, but I wasn't expecting to be that low.
Yeah. Goodness, we all three have different scores. You finished with yours?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Wait, actually, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So overall, I really liked it. I think it's really solid, really well done. There was some dialogue that really suffered and takes you out of it, and being a bit of a history guy, there's other little details and some of the casting that breaks your submersion a bit. But overall, still like really solidly done. There's just quite a few things that are keeping it from being like, a masterpiece. But overall, like, I'm very, very happy with it, and I'll probably definitely be looking for the Blu-ray and stuff when it comes out.
Yeah, me too.
And I also, as someone who loves ancient Greece and Greek mythology, I do hope that the success of this does cause a bit of a boom in, I hope we start getting some more Greek mythology movies or more ancient Greece movies. Like, I would be down with having a boom of that.
Yeah.
But I gave this one an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
I can see.
See?
I'll accept an 8.
This is what we needed. This was the thing. We had 8 episodes out, and we all just love those movies.
We all agreed. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like all scrolls were so similar. I like this.
This one we've all got
But,
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the first
I
time they
will-
all rated a movie something different?
Maybe I'll have to look back.
I feel
on
like
that.
everyone we've done so far has been movies that we really, really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we still need
You know
to
what?
do a
You know what?
bad movie that we hate or something though too.
Yeah.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
Or even love to hate.
Yeah.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Robert Eggers' take on the Odyssey. That's what I want to see.
That would be pretty dope.
I think he would be perfect for it.
Or if he doesn't do the Odyssey because this just came out, if he did something like ancient Greece or Greek mythology.
Yeah, some sort of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love to see Eggers do that.
Yeah.
Should we go ahead and announce our plans here? I believe we are going to be going through Christopher Nolan's filmography. I think that was the plan for this comeback. We're not just doing the Odyssey. We're actually going to go, because I still haven't seen that a whole lot from him. So he's a director that I really wanted to be.
William, how many movies of his have you seen?
Memento, the Batman movies, Inception,
Dunkirk,
Oppenheimer, Odyssey.
So we're missing Following, Insomnia, Tenet, The Prestige,
and Interstellar.
I think that's it. Interstellar.
I haven't seen that one either. Yeah.
I've now seen 5. Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, and the Odyssey. And honestly, it's been so long since I've seen Inception and Dark Knight trilogy, I can't even have a proper opinion about it right now. So we definitely need to.
I haven't seen it in a minute, like Dunkirk and Tenet and
So
The Dark Knight. I don't think I've seen The Dark Knight Rises in a minute. I've seen The Dark Knight not too long ago, and Batman Begins not too long ago.
Yeah, so I say we go back in time for a bit, and we go through his discography, and 1 episode per movie, and hopefully we can get back into this, because I would very much like to make this podcast at least every now and again. Try to set up some kind of schedule for us would be very nice.
Try and get a little bit more of a consistency going.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm just talking about movies. I don't have any friends who like talking about movies down here, so.
I miss doing this, because I like doing something that's not on my main channel, so.
Yeah.
I like being a part of other things, the collaboration. So that's what this is, because we all 3 have our own stuff. So, yeah, this was nice.
This was good.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Tune back in next time for...
We are back.
We haven't decided yet.
Officially, we're not going to have a moment where we don't return for 3 years. Like, we're coming back soon. It's going to happen.
This episode comes out, and then 5 years later, we put out another one.
Hey guys, we finally watched Christopher.
All right,
Nolan's
we're
full
back for real
movie.
this time.
We're back for real, and then it's like
Then it's
we're
10
gonna have an
years. And
episode
all right,
in
guys, we're back.
in a nursery home or something.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in an assisted living home, being like, "I got my father back."
At that point, we finally have time.
Yeah, this is like. Please like and comment below. Tell us what you think about the Odyssey.
Keep the discussion going in the comments.
Keep it going.
Keep it going.
We obviously couldn't talk about everything, and this would have, it would have been ridiculous.
Forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us keep. That's another thing. If you guys comment and you like and you subscribe, you'll give us motivation to keep going. So help us out.
We do this for you.
Yeah, we definitely want to make this into maybe like a weekly thing. That would be awesome.
Yeah. But we can't do it without your support, so keep it coming. Keep it coming, guys.
Yes. Hopefully we can get our stuff out on like other podcasts platforms and everything. That would be nice. Thunder, that was loud thunder.
That was loud. I can hear it through my headphones. You didn't hear that, Nathaniel?
Dude, what the
You didn't
heck?
hear that like what, 2-3 states down?
No, I didn't hear that either.
Okay. Anyway,
all right.
are we?
I think we'll end it then, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys in the next one. Auf
Bye.
Wiedersehen.